Hello everyone, this is Ryan. This video is for Liberty University Advanced Aviation class. I am utilizing the X-Plane app on my home flight simulator and utilizing OBS Studio's app to make the video and voice recordings, and also Clipchamp to edit the video. So with the Garmin G1000 consists of a primary flight display on the left side of the screen, the audio panel in the middle, and the multi-function display on the right. A few features about the primary flight display is that it replaces the 6 main traditional style gauges in aircraft. It replaces the airspeed indicator, which is the vertical bar on the left side of the screen, the altimeter and VSI on the right side of the screen, and the attitude indicator in the center of the screen, and the HSI at the bottom center of the screen. The HSI also shows turn coordination with a pink arc as the aircraft is turning. You'll see some pink arcs appear on the screen, and we'll demonstrate those here in a few minutes. The attitude indicator shows pitch up, pitch down, and bank angle. It has a horizontal line across the screen, with the brown as being the ground and the blue being the sky, and the line is the horizontal, and the yellow triangle and the yellow bars would be like the little miniature airplane. It also incorporates the slip indicator with the brick below that triangle for the bank angle, and the brick shows the coordination, the quality of the turn. So you just pretty much you step on the rudders. If the brick is out one side or the other, you step on the brick, so corresponding rudder to which side the brick is on, to center the ball up to have a coordinated turn. The airspeed, it shows also true airspeed as well at the bottom of the screen, and it incorporates the outside air temperature. So the way that it does this is it uses an air data computer to take data readings from the pitot tube and the static port, and also an air temperature probe, and it'll calculate the true airspeed, and it's displayed at the bottom of the airspeed indicator, airspeed bar. The 3 gauges at the bottom are still required in case of a failure with the Garmin G1000. So we have the airspeed indicator, the attitude indicator, and the altimeter. And then we also have the magnetic compass as well. Those 4 instruments are still required even with the use of the Garmin G1000 in case of a failure on those. So we can bring up this screen and we can show a few more details about it. The COM frequencies are at the top right of the screen. The green one illuminated is the active frequency. We can switch from one frequency to the other in COM 1 using the double-sided arrow button. We can switch from COM 1 to COM 2, this is to adjust the frequencies. Take it back. This is to adjust the frequencies. We touch the center of the COM button to switch from one frequency to the other. We can adjust the frequencies by turning the outside of the knob, and it adjusts the big numbers of the frequency, and the center smaller knob adjusts the smaller numbers of the frequency. So if we want to actually switch from COM 1 to COM 2, we have to come back out of this. We have to hit on the audio panel. We can hit COM 1, COM 2, and that shows whichever one is illuminated is the active COM. You can also monitor. You can transmit on one and monitor on the other by hitting the COM 2 button on the right side of the audio panel, So then you would be transmitting and listening on COM 1 and monitoring COM 2 at the same time, but not transmitting. There's some other features here with the audio panel for talking to passengers, or so that passengers can't be talking to you. You can control their volume, their audio with this as well. The button at the bottom of the screen, if we want to, if like one display starts to fail, you can still, if the multifunction display failed, you can still see tachometer, fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temperature, fuel flow, battery amps, and battery volts with just hitting the red button at the bottom of the audio panel, which is a nice feature to have. Going back to this, we right now we're in the GPS mode on our HSI, which is at the bottom of the screen. That takes place of the directional gyro. It's an HSI, which HSI also it shows, you know, the actual heading you're flying. It'll show which navigation you were using at the time. So right now it is locked onto the GPS signal, and I have a pre-programmed flight in for a flight to Anderson, and Oxtic is an initial approach fix, so it has an direct Oxtic in that flight plan. We also have direct to Greenville downtown, as when we got to Anderson, we could fly direct back to Greenville downtown. I have that programmed in as well using the direct button. To switch from GPS signal to using the nav1, nav2 frequencies, we have to hit the CDI button at the bottom of the screen, the button, and it flips from VOR1, and VOR1 is showing at 108.6, and ELW. The ELW shows that the signal is being sensed. So that would be the active VOR signal or navigation used. Then we got nav2 by hitting the CDI again, and VOR2 is now used instead of VOR1. Let's see, we can unpause the aircraft on my flight simulator so that now we can make some adjustments. So if I want to adjust the altimeter to the current altimeter setting using the barometric pressure, or if you know the field elevation, like on this one, I know Greenville Downtown Airport is 980 feet at runway 1, at the beginning of runway 1, so that's why I've set it to 980 feet. We can also turn the smaller knob, and it will turn the HSI so that to whatever heading you need it to turn to. So then to fly direct, when we take off the runway, we'd fly heading a 220 in our course. That would take us direct to the ELW VOR. Let's see. If you want to turn the little heading bug, you can use the heading knob and turn the heading bug. You can turn it all the way around, or if it's off on a frequency on a heading that you don't need it on, and you want to quickly just put it on the heading that you're flying, to simply press the center of the heading button, and it'll bring the heading bug to the top center of the current heading that you're flying. Let's see, to program a flight in, you just simply click on the flight plan, and then you can rotate, and then add in the airport that you wish to that you wish to fly to. There's Anderson Regional, so hit enter, enter again, so then we have Anderson. And then if you wanted to fly the approach into Anderson, you would just select an approach, and I chose to run RNAV 23 GPS approach in, so you would hit that, enter button, and we can choose between vectors if you're talking to ATC, if you'd be expecting vectors for the initial approach fix, or direct aux stick for the initial approach fix. So just for simplicity, I chose aux stick. Enter, 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 and we want to load it. Later on, while we're in flight, if we want to activate it, we'd go back to procedure and simply enter. And now the approach is activated for that, if we were actually flying in the air at the time. On a primary flight display, it shows the same. It can show the same information as this is the multifunction display. It can show the same information as the primary flight display. It shows the moving map, which the moving map is really for situational awareness only, and not supposed to be used as a direct to navigation or to stay out of trouble while flying. We can zoom in, zoom out. On the map, and you can see on the left side of the screen it shows the engine RPM, the fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temperature, vacuum. If we want to increase the RPMs, we can see that our vacuum gauge will increase. RPM changes, oil pressure changes, you get gallons per hour changes for the fuel flows. So now we are going to take a short flight just to show some features of the Garmin G1000 and how it actually operates. Okay, so now that we're to this point, we are going to take off now. We got to release our parking brake. (980) on the altitude, 980 on this one. So our engine RPMs is coming up. Airspeed's coming up. Rotate at 55. Climb out at hopefully around 78. As we're flying away from our VOR1 course, we can see that it's getting off course. So we could either turn the VOR to a new course and get a new heading to center it back up, or just simply turn and re-intercept the same course that we have dialed in to the ELW VOR. Our standard rate turn is indicated by the pink arc. And that when the pink arc showing going to the line is indicating a 2-minute per turn rate for 360-degree turn. We try to level off at around 3,000 feet. intercept the course. Try to trim the aircraft for straight and level flight. So as we're flying, we can demonstrate if you give it too much rudder, the brick slides out from under the arrow. So then you need to step on the brick that's corresponding to that side of the aircraft. So right now I need to step on the right rudder to give it the brick to slide it back under more. Now I need to step on the left rudder to center it back up. And here it's centered again. We can see our VSI on the right when we pitch up or pitch down. The bar slides up to show indications of there's 500 feet. That would be 1,000 feet per minute climb rate. We can see our altimeter is climbing in elevation. Now it's decreasing in elevation. Trying to get back down to 3,000 feet. We see our airspeed is indicating 114, 115 indicated airspeed, but we have a true airspeed of 120 knots. We'll decrease our engine RPMs. Pitch back up. While in flight, we can change from CDI 1 or CDI to VOR2, VOR1, there's VOR2, there's the GPS signal, VOR1, VOR2. So right now the way it's oriented, it should be trying to fly straight to Oxtick, would be our next destination for the initial approach fix for the runway RNAV 23 approach into ELW or Anderson Regional Airport. You can see the bank angle. Right now this is indicating at about a 20-degree bank. It's 10 degrees per line for the first three. And then it increases up to a 45-degree bank and a 60-degree bank. For bank angle, this would be a level pitch indication all the way up to, we can go up higher, but this is a 10-degree pitch up indication, and here is a 10-degree pitch down indication. Each one of these lines is about 2.5 degrees. Okay, well, I hope this video has been helpful, and we made it safely back on the ground, and we went to Donaldson Center Airport, which is just a few miles away from Greenville downtown. So I hope this flight has been enjoyable and beneficial to learn a little bit more about the Garmin G1000.